Hello and welcome to Full Warning, a Team Serious podcast. Today we are joined by Stephen McGrew. Hey Stephen, what's up? How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing great. Great to be here, Rajah. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for joining us, man. We've been excited to be able to have you on to chat. And before we dive into it with you, I want to check in with my partner, BC Druid. What's up, BC Druid?
How's it going? Are we going to ask Steve the questions?
I'm going to ask Steve the questions. Yeah, you want to ask Steve the questions?
Can I ask Steve the questions?
Yeah, go for it.
Hey, Steve.
Go for it.
Who are you, and what are you doing here?
Hello. Why am I here? Well, I'm a person. I'm a Magic player. My name is Stephen. I like to play Vintage with my friends and have fun and eat and drink and partake and be merry and try to win some Magic. And, maybe I win some, maybe I lose some, but, that's the breaks.
Yeah, all right.
Isn't that all we all want?
I'll pull you back in, Stephen. I'll throw you a lifeline. We asked the question to get you revved up and in the full warning spirit. And so we are here today, more specifically, I know that was a very nice, generic, high-level answer.
Yes.
General
high level. Oh, yes.
Entry, yeah.
But let's dive in a little bit. We're here today to talk about the wrap-up for the apparently first annual Kegerator Serious Invitational.
KSI.
Before we jump into that, I do want to talk to you a little bit about, you gave us a good high level of where you are, who you are, and why you are here.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about
More about the here and now.
Yeah, the here and
Or
now,
what
but
just
also
happened.
Well, I want to go back to the beginning of the magical time of Stephen. So your magical birth. I want to hear about that. I want to give the audience a little insight into who they're dealing with here.
Okay,
I don't
sure.
think I know this
I can
story
do
either.
that. Okay, cool. Not sure if it's exactly... Well, let's do it. So, I first heard of Magic. So, first I played Pokemon.
Okay.
Yes. Well, I was young. Okay,
I don't think that's a boo. I don't think.
Yeah,
I think
so
that's...
it's a little more of an age generation thing. So, actually, the first time I heard about Magic was in a magazine called Zillions. And Zillions, it was basically consumer reports for kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
They reviewed toys, and they had a very weirdly, it was very 90s anti-ad bent to it, despite the fact that it's all about consumer products.
Right.
So I remember reading they had stuff about financial advice for kids.
Okay.
An example of the Goofus and Gallant thing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Gallant puts his money in a savings account, and Goofus spends his money on Magic cards. Specifically Magic cards.
Well, I'm
That's
going
awesome.
to go on record and say that Goofus would probably be a lot better off.
Yeah, this is probably 1995, so maybe it was Ice Age trash, and maybe
Okay,
it
fair
would have
point.
been worthless.
Right.
Or buy singles, right?
Maybe this was post crash, but yeah, no. In general, that was very bad advice. In that,
That's awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
so that was your first actual exposure to ever reading or knowing what it was.
knowing what it was, yeah. I'm a few years younger than you, so Pokemon, I think the game came out first when I was 9 or 10, and then the cards came shortly after that, so I was playing the cards. And it was fun, but I kind of realized it was a little shallow at the time. They've added a little more to the game, but eventually my friend showed me Magic, and that definitely seemed kind of cooler, but he didn't have very many cards, but he basically had a Portal starter of some sort.
Okay.
And some 6th edition cards.
Okay.
And none of it was very good. 1/1s, 1/2s, 1/1 flying creatures.
Nice.
Sprite.
Yeah.
Norwood Ranger.
Healing salves. Evil Eye of Orms-By-Gore, that was the coolest card.
Okay.
I remember
yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Because it had big numbers and it had a sick name, and it was just incomprehensible. What is this Evil Eye? What is Orms-By-Gore? Why is it so big?
Right,
Why does it have these
exactly.
restrictions?
More questions than answers.
It raises more questions than answers. Yes, that's what I love about early Magic. It raises more questions than answers, and some of them are just unanswerable, and there's still that mystery to it. I love that.
So you got introduced to some kind of 6th edition, very low power level stuff, and this is a few years on from Pokemon, or you were, what, like 11 or 12 at this point?
Yeah, a couple of years go by, and a different friend is getting really into Magic, and 8th edition had just come out, and he introduced me by putting the Goblin Precon deck in my hands and saying, "You are going to play this."
Okay.
I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to play Goblins. And so that first deck, it was 40 card Precon, which the rares in that are Mog Sentry, not good. Blood Moon, good card, not very useful for us, but I held on to it. I still have that card. That's
okay.
I saw that Blood Moon. It also had a Goblin King. That was my favorite. Goblin King was awesome. And then we added every red and colorless card to that and got it up to like 90 cards, and then quickly realized that was bad and started hacking it back down. And then eventually I discovered, they just released this set right before this, which has all the good goblins, and it was still in stores for a little bit. So I tried to get every Onslaught and Scourge pack that I could find.
Those are good goblins.
I got the Scourge Goblin Precon, which has Siege Gang Commander and Sulfuric Vortex.
Oh, yeah.
Siege Gang Commander is still my favorite Magic card. I love it. It does lots of cool things. Then I kept playing, and it was in a very casual manner. Mirrodin felt like weird, and I could see how warping the power level was. But I had some casual decks, and then kind of faded. And then I took a break, and then I came back around Lorwyn because my buddy was drafting in the back room of an arcade in Florida.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a little sketch at the time, but it worked out. We upgraded from the back room to a gaming area with Xboxes you could rent and gaming PCs you could rent and stuff, but they had tables up right there for the Magic. We were finally above ground and in light, which is good.
Yeah.
I did lots of drafts there, and that was cool. And it also gave me an attitude of enjoying Magic without it being sanctioned at a store.
Right.
So I always felt like kind of more of an underground player than a sanctioned player, I guess.
That's interesting. I like that.
Then college, I found out that there's a board game club, but the Magic people met at the board game club meetup in a different room. We didn't interact with the board game people at all. But it was Friday night, and so we met at 4. So I found out that what they liked the most was drafts and legacy.
Okay.
And so I really liked drafting, so I kept doing that. And then I got into legacy through them. This was at Cornell in Ithaca, so like central New York, upstate.
Okay.
The legacy scene there was centered around Jupiter Games in Binghamton.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was an hour drive away, so it was a little bit of a weekend commitment, but it wasn't too bad. I didn't have a car at college.
Yeah,
so
there's a SUNY there, right, in Binghamton.
Yeah, there's SUNY Binghamton. Yeah, and then they pulled from the greater, Rochester. There's a pretty big Magic scene in Rochester. That was where I went for PTQs, usually. Like, I remember the first legacy deck I brought to the club was Suicide Mono Black with Sinkholes. We'll get back to that. We'll come full circle to that. I did not win any games because I quickly realized the power level. They had real decks.
Right.
They were senseiing the Divining Top.
Right.
Yeah, they were abusing it. They were doing all the things.
Like Sinkhole, Dark Ritual.
Yeah, Tarmogoyf was the shit.
Oh yeah.
But I was a contrarian, and I stuck to playing Goblins. And I did not buy into Tarmogoyfs and duels and forces.
Okay.
I remember I could have bought forces for 20 and Goyfs for 20, and the blue duels were at least 100.
You're like, that's a lot.
But I ended up getting the rest of the stuff for Legacy Goblins for $50, which felt really good.
Yeah, you're like, I got a whole deck. It's not even a dual land.
And I didn't actually ever win anything with that, but my buddy did borrow my deck and win a playset of Flooded Strands with it.
Nice.
So good for him. But that was fun, and eventually I got the idea maybe I'll upgrade into Merfolk. It's just, I wasn't thinking that the tribal decks were any good. This was right before Cavern was printed. But anyway, I got into Blue-Red Delver in Legacy, was what I decided to build in. So that was around like when I moved to Cleveland. I ended up finding Legacy scene there. I basically built up through the blue duels, starting playing like blue-red and then white and then branching into, black and green and stuff.
Okay.
And so I just played blue, whatever I wanted in Legacy for a while. And then I met Jake in 2015, I think, and then he introduced
Mr. Jacob Hilty.
Mr. Jacob Hilty, yes.
Yes,
Team Sirius.
okay.
He introduced me to Team Sirius.
Okay.
And Vintage. Yeah.
Okay.
And, yeah.
So in 2015 is when you kind of started picking up Vintage and started playing Vintage Goblins.
No, I've never played Goblins in Vintage. I wish. I've never had the yutzpah for it.
It's not that bad.
Well, I also kind of realized that you eventually kind of realize that Goblins is a much more intricate deck than you would think. And it's
right.
like more of a combo deck than an aggro deck.
It's true.
Right.
And
right.
I am an aggro player at heart. I'm not a combo player at first.
Interesting. Okay, so then we'll have to revisit that in your deck choice, I guess, deck choice section. So you met up with Jake, and he told you about Vintage, and you guys were working together? He lived in the area, or I don't recall.
Yeah, we were working
exactly.
together. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Us and Frank Single.
And Frank was there too. Okay.
Yes.
Well, Steven was coming to Legacy already. Like, you were doing Legacy events.
Yeah, I was already doing.
Right?
I'd been doing Legacy regularly for a couple years.
Jake was dragging us all down to Legacy, and I was resisting the call of Vintage at that time, like 2015, 2016. I was like, man, Vintage, that sounds expensive. He's like, you can play with Proxies. I don't do that.
Yeah. And I'd always heard of Vintage, but, it never seemed accessible for a couple of reasons. One, Proxies were still not accepted by many people at the time. There's much less proxy culture then, or when I was coming up, than there is now. And also, I never really knew anyone who played Vintage. That was the most important thing, really. Since it was adjacent to Legacy, and I was definitely more interested in going higher power level than going into Modern.
What was your first Vintage event?
My first Vintage event?
Team Series Vintage event.
Yeah. I could have pulled it up. I think it might still be on the NTG top 8, but it was a TSO in Sandusky, I believe.
Okay.
So this was 2015, I believe.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're in. Okay.
One of the, I guess, now few events before Chalice and Lodestone were restricted. So it was a 4 Chalice, 4 Lodestone, 4...
Ooh.
Yes, format. Yes.
For Mentor as well.
There's 4 Mentor as well, yes. And Mentor was the best deck, but I have some allergy to playing the best deck sometimes. I sort of had the idea in my head, one, that I wanted to play like Delver because I was used to it and I thought it was fun. But I thought the idea of, I can be a turn faster than the Mentor deck by playing Young Pyromancers instead of Mentor, and that's the way that I can maybe get a little edge on them. I don't think that works out very well in practice, but that was what I was thinking at the time.
All right, so from that first TSO till the KSI, you've evolved, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you feel like you played the best deck walking into the KSI?
No. I played a fun deck.
Okay.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit, Stephen, about the deck you did choose to play for KSI and why you chose to play it.
So at the land, I played the Smelting Vat, Workshop, Glaring Fleshraker, Sensei's Divining top deck, and got top 4 in that. And that was a awesome event, and it was a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun playing that deck. I felt like at that event at the land, I was just balling people, and it felt great. And I was having a lot of fun. And that was also the first event with Vexing Bauble, and people were scared of it.
I wanted to ask you this, Stephen. Was your deck list at the land pretty much the same as Jimmy's, or was there some bigger differences?
It was very similar to Jimmy's. The list Jimmy gave me, he was going in between 2 or 3 Fleshrakers, and I was like, I want 4. I don't care, if I'm playing 4 tops. So I shaved a couple cards to do that, and I changed a couple sideboard cards. Dwayne, I think, was maxing defense grids, and I think I cheated and only played, like, not literally cheated, but I shaved it down to 1. I cut that corner, and I didn't get punished for it, luckily, because I didn't lose to blue.
Okay, so because Jimmy's performance of the TSI was not nearly as dominating.
Yeah, Jimmy got the unlucky draw.
Well, and he played 2 or 3 flesh rakers, so.
And Dwayne only played 1, but Dwayne can just play the smelting bat deck very well.
So your deck choice, you were saying, like, basically, I want to play a similar deck.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play a Flesh Raker deck, but I want to switch it up a little bit.
So I had fun with that, and I didn't really have time to brew a new deck. And I'm not usually one to just pick a top blue deck and play it at the TSI.
Okay.
If I play a blue deck or like a top deck, I want it to be something that I guess playing for a while and honing. Otherwise, I think I just want to play kind of more of a wild card. But I guess I had the idea of, I wonder if there's something I can do other than Smelting Vat with Flesh Raker top. And I was originally hoping maybe for like a blue list, but that's still going to be under development. But I saw our good friend Level 1, Justin Gennari, had just published a video with Flesh Raker top and then Cart Clan Ironworks instead of Smelting Vat. Yeah.
Yes. Friend of Team Sirius, Justin Gennari, always with the good spice. So he had something that was kind of in the vein of what you were looking for.
Yes, he did. The 16 cards in the main that are different. I'd have to remember everything that was cut, but like out go the Grim Monoliths and the 4 extra Voltaic keys, and in go 4 Cart Clan Ironworks, 4 Scrap Trawler, 4 Ichor Wellspring, and more importantly, 4 Patchwork Automaton.
Yeah, the beater.
And that card, while it wasn't like super relevant for me this tournament, I think that it's already pretty strong, and I think that card should probably be in the Flesh Raker decks already, probably.
Okay.
Which card was that again? The
Patchwork Automaton. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a good.
It makes you can make it infinitely big with top if you have a reducer.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a reducer, or if you have, you need a reducer essentially. But even just with 2 tops and mana, like, you can make it pretty big.
So this way, this deck I guess doesn't technically have a cost reducer besides Flesh Raker itself, I guess.
No, but KCI and like sacrificing things, a Scrap Trawler, bringing things back. I mean, you could have a pretty good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get pretty big. Pretty big.
Yeah, the deck has just about every piece combos with another in some way, which is pretty fun. And I figured it would make for interesting games.
Well, I want to ask you, Angelo, about your deck choice. Like, did you run back your list? It sounds like you ran back your list, maybe, or a similar list.
No.
Did you switch it up at all?
At the land, I played Dwayne's deck, and I liked it, but I felt that there were times where I had gas in the tank, but I couldn't get what I needed to win. Stroking through the deck and seeing a lot of cards, but I wasn't stacking large enough things to get even a key, a vault key out. Because there's a lot of 1-drops, and then there's the 4 and 5 drops in there. So I ended up going to Steve's deck exactly from the land. I just copied his list.
Interesting.
And just in goldfishing it, playing it with you, it felt the same as Dwayne's deck, where you're digging and sometimes you start running on fumes and you're seeing a lot of cards and you can't get vault key. But being able to access top as an out with a Flesh Raker in play, that's a 1-drop off the Smelting Vat.
Right.
I found it to be like a second ray of hope, if you will, without paying too much of a price for it. Because when you flip 8 cards, you still only take 2 of them. So if 2 of them are Flesh Rakers, I don't care. Like, they'll come back, they're going to the bottom of the deck, and I can just keep rolling. So I really enjoyed it. It was a good deck. The thing that made me really sad, and we can talk about this when we talk about the runs, is just Null Rod is such a kick in the balls. Like, when your stomach drops when you see it. Even if you have an answer in your hand, you're like, wow.
Right.
So
Null Rod is a strong choice in the recent Team Sirius meta, for sure.
Yeah, huge problem.
I'll say for my deck choice, I actually teched out my deck, for the Team Sirius meta.
Deep meta dive?
I found a Traxa Oath list that was using Into the Flood Maw, which bounces a permanent if you promise the gift. So it's a pretty cool new card, and it can deal with a lot of hateful permanents. But Null Rod is still pretty essential to battle a lot of what's going on in our metagame right now. So I moved one of the Null Rods to the main deck. It was already playing Vexing Baubles. I played a Spell Pierce specifically to try to catch permanents on turn one if I'm on the play. Try to catch things like the Ring or Trinisphere or any Smelting Vat, anything bomb they're doing on turn one I can get with a 1 blue, and a Spell Pierce is really nice. So Atraxa seemed really powerful. I played it at Champs this past year, so I know how to play it, and just doing some metagame changes of the deck, I felt like very good about those things going into the tournament. And I will say, I was kind of looking to spike since the last few vintage tournaments, house tournaments, last Invitational, I missed hazards basically. So, and I'm not going to try to win my own tournament. In general, I'm going to play a deck that's going to be fun at my own tournament so I can be a host. But I like winning, so I was definitely trying to spike, and I thought this was a good metagame call.
Yeah, those are all great things to do to win a tournament. I did none of those. I decided that I am going to be the vanguard of the metagame, and I'm going to be the problem, and people are going to have to figure out how to deal with it.
You didn't let me down, Steven. Didn't let me down. I counted you as a workshop player, and you showed up and understood the assignment. So. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about our Swiss rounds, if we can. Let's go through a little bit. Round one. Steven, who did you face off in round one, if you recall?
I faced Brian Hockey round one.
Oh, Hockey round one, huh? So, how'd it go?
It started off great. So game one, I had definitely the best opener of the day, so I felt great. It was turn one on the play my Moxes first, Vexing Bauble, and then Trinisphere, and then that setup, Karn next turn, and then Lattice. And then he didn't do anything.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good.
He didn't do anything, but that he also didn't show me anything besides, I think, like a Scalding Tarn. But it didn't matter too much, because I believe game two, I mulliganed to like a crappy 5, and he tinkered for Sphinx of the Steel Wind or something, and then slowly killed me. It got the job done. And then game 3, I believe I had a bobble. I think I had to mulligan a bunch again, which sucked. But it had a bobble, which he had to force. And then he was shields down for 2 turns. So like if I had a turn 2 kill through 1 force, then I would have gotten there or something like that. But off the mulligans, it was just not enough cards to get there. And it sucked that, that just kind of crapped out round 1. Despite that loss, it didn't keep me from getting to the top 4. So, I was still very much in it.
Yeah, so he did his part, obviously, and you did your part. So, Angelo, who did you have round 1?
I have Mike O'Malley.
Oh, Maiko in round 1. Mike was doing some bizarre things, I assume?
Yeah, I think Mike just dusted off an old deck, like pre-Modern Horizons 3 times.
Okay.
So
he hasn't been playing Vintage, probably.
He, picked up cards and read them. Like, I think he had to read going Fleshraker. And then he was like, oh yeah, I've read about this card. Like, he never seen it in the flesh kind of thing.
Right.
But I think he pulled a game off me. I can't remember. I think he pulled game 1 off me with just a bonkers start. And then I realized what he was on, sideboarded correctly. And I'm not going to say I beated him handedly. He's very good at the deck. But,
right.
I got there with the Fleshraker kill 1 game. I got there with the Vault Key kill game 2. So, yeah. Like, we did it both ways.
Yeah, nice. Did it like this, did it like that.
I didn't want to lie to myself. It kind of reminded me of when I played Mailman Bob round 1 Kumite with his Alpha 40 deck. And I had my homebrew deck. I thought I was going to kick some teeth in that day. And then I realized, this deck's not.
So you felt a little bad.
No, I didn't feel bad. I tempered my optimism. Let's put it that
Tempered
way.
your optimism for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, I survived
okay, yeah,
that.
like,
Cool.
right. Yeah. No, and actually I felt very similar. So I didn't feel bad. I felt actually very similar and good about not losing to a deck that I very likely could have lost to round one against Shaman Ben. Shaman Ben and Brother Andrew are Michiganers, and Shaman Ben hasn't been to a Team Series Invitational for a while, so he's taken quite a long hiatus from Vintage proper for a while. And I told him about the event, and he said, yeah, man, I'll show up. So I expected that he would just go online and pick a deck from the current Vintage metagame that probably was to his style, right? There's oops all spells and things like that I figured he would just proxy a deck and play that. I sit down against Shaman Ben. We're exchange pleasantries. He's laughing, and he ends up going first. His opening play is Dark Ritual, Hymn to Turok.
Love it.
And my opener is Orchard, Mox, Oath, Blue Card Force. So I said, I'm going to choose the two cards I'm going to discard here. And I discarded the Force and the blue card. Because if he had Duress, Hymn to Turok, I probably actually just lose that game. There's probably no way for me to win that game. Because his next card was Null Rod after that. And then Nantuko Shade.
Yeah, you totally could have lost to, Duress, Hymn to Turok, and Nantuko Shade.
Because I probably would have forced the Duress, right? And then, I would have lost the Oath and the Orchard probably to the Hymn, right? Just as quantum physics would dictate, right? So I was able to land my turn one combo, if you will, of Orchard. I revealed Atraxa. Ben read it for a second, said, similarly, I know what that does. And then he let me play a few more turns and then scooped it up. Game 2, however, he went first again. And in that game, he was able to strip my hand and play an Nantuko Shade. And because of his other pressure, I couldn't get to the mana because he had Wastelands. So I couldn't get to the mana cast Show and Tell. And I thought I had one more turn to play Oath and pass and then get an Atraxa. Well, Ben instead played Dark Ritual, pumped his Nantuko Shade up to 7 and killed me. So I did lose game 2 to Nantuko Shade in round
Hell
1.
yeah.
So at this point, I'm actually pretty concerned that I am going to lose round 1 to... It's a classic mono black deck. So it's not even... doesn't have any cards after Scourge. It is alpha through Scourge. And from what I've seen, he definitely has the tools to beat me if he draws the right sequence of cards. So I finally get to go first in this match, and I think I just have turn 1, Orchard, Mox Oath, and then pass. And then I flipped. My flip was even crazier. It was like blue card, Atraxa, Show and Tell, another Oath, and at a time walk, I think, and then he just scooped it up at that point. But I definitely could have lost round 1. That was Shaman Ben, round 1. Pretty cool. All right, so round 2, we ended up having lunch. I guess we could we'll save a little bit of the lunch talk till after the Swiss rounds, and then we'll talk food and stuff before we talk about the top 4. Okay, so round 2, I'll go to you, Angelo. Who did you play round 2?
Played Brassman.
Brassman. How'd that round go?
I think I 2-0'd him.
Okay.
He had some psychic frogs and some other things. At game 2, I don't think he even got proper mana. And then game 1, I knocked off the frog with a Might Stone, a Weak Stone. A couple other things happened. I don't know. Memory's getting blurry at that point.
Yeah, fair enough. It's perfect time to review the tournament because you have no time to make stuff up. You just either remember it or you don't.
Well, and we played outside.
And you played outside. That's actually very relevant. That's the relevant
feature.
thing of round 2. Yes.
The
Angelo played round 2 and outside, and he won. Perfect. Steven, how'd you go round 2?
Yes, round 2 I played against Shaman Ben.
You had Shaman Ben round 2
Yes.
because you lost your round 1. Okay.
I did.
So how did your match go against Shaman Ben?
Well, he did open with winning the die roll, and then turn 1, I believe, is Dark Ritual, Hypnotic Spectre, and I was like, hell yeah. But I was pretty sure I was going to get there.
Right.
Yeah. I don't remember. I might have had a turn 1 kill in game 1. I don't
Okay.
remember I don't remember having to like discard cards or do anything.
Okay, so he didn't hit you with any discards. So that's like having
Yeah,
a turn 1
maybe,
kill,
maybe he
basically.
hit me once with a hippie. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and then I think game 2, I could be confusing the games a bit, but I remember I got hit by a hippie multiple times, but I had... Oh yeah, so game 1, he had a handful of sinkholes and wastelands, and I had like an all artifact mana hand.
Oh,
That's what it
okay.
was.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what it was. Okay, so he didn't pressure you because you had only artifact mana. He didn't have null rod. He just had wastes and stuff.
And then I think game 2, he didn't have the land destruction, and I think I was getting hit by a Hypnotic Spectre, but I had an active Urza Saga, and the constructs and everything killed him. But it did feel a little full circle, just mentioning that was like the first legacy deck that I... So,
Nice. Yes. Sinkhole on sinkhole. Sinkhole returns to sinkhole. So my round 2 was also played outside against Eric. Eric, who was the champion from the Land 5, he brought some modifications to his hateful red deck.
It's not even red anymore. I mean, it's got green and blue.
It has blue in it? I didn't see any blue cards.
oh, did he
I
do
thought I saw blue.
the Blue Moons?
Oh.
Merfolk?
I didn't see
one
it.
I saw an ancestral or something. I might be wrong.
He might have Ancestral in his deck, or some like Mind Break Trap or Mental Misstep or something, but I didn't see any blue, or don't recall seeing any blue.
I just heard it has 8 null rods, it has green, it's probably worse than the last one. But it would still wreck my face, so I do not want to get paired against him.
Yeah, so he had Collector Oof, he had Null Rod, he had the 8 Moon effects, and then he also had Bloodbraid Elf, which I think is a really strong card, good choice for the deck.
Nice.
It's not an awesome deck, card in Vintage, but, Shaman Ben got the achievement in round 1 by killing me with his Nantuko Shade. In round 2, Eric got the achievement of killing me with his Bloodbraid Elf. So I did lose the game to Bloodbraid Elf. Actually, there was 2 of them. And the cool thing of Bloodbraid Elf, as you know, is the Cascade is a trigger, right? So you're going to get the thing even if they counter the Bloodbraid Elf. So probably they're not going to counter the Bloodbraid Elf. They're just going to counter the thing if it's a hateful thing and they don't like it. But then you have a 3-2 that has haste, so that's pretty good. So I liked that in the deck. Game 3, though, was awesome because my deck got to do the thing with the promising the gift with the fish, and Eric played a Grafdigger's Cage. I countered it. He top decked a Grafdigger's Cage, and then I was able to let it resolve, but put my Oath Trigger on the stack and then bounce it, gifting him the fish, and then was able to resolve my Oath Trigger. Now, to be clear, he had other creatures in play. That's why the Oath Trigger went on the stack and stayed on the stack instead of going on and immediately leaving the stack. So I didn't skeeve him out. The fish wasn't relevant, but just the fact that I was able to bounce the thing for 1 blue and resolve my trigger.
I actually remember that conversation at the table.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we'll get to fish later.
Yeah. So fish are fish. So then, so that was round 2. And then round 3, I ended up playing against Hockey. And that match, I didn't really get to see much in that match. Game 1, I think he said he made a mistake. And I don't recall, I was getting maybe a little inebriated at this point, so I don't recall, the details are a little fuzzy.
Well, can we pause for 1 second?
Yeah.
I want to talk about Jimmy and the Yangtime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of getting inebriated, yeah.
Well, I think this had an impact on the tournament.
It did, yes.
Because normally when Yangtime happens, like half the people half-heartedly do it, and then we go play Magic, and it's fine. Jimmy wanted to have Yangtown every damn round. So what do we have? 2 or 3 in the Swiss, and then another one before finals, and Shaman Ben was like, "Nah, I'm gonna tap out." And then he realized everybody else was doing it, and was like, all right, fine. So we had 100% participation. I mean, it was remarkable, but by that point, all of us we're under the gauntlet.
Right. Do you suspect that there's some people were like pouring theirs out on the side, like that they weren't?
Absolutely not. I saw them all go down the hatch.
Okay.
I think people
Mine
were
all
trying
went down the
to
hatch.
like measure, what's in their cup. Like some people were looking for the ones that were more Red Bull than Kegerator and so on.
Fair. Yeah.
Just generally speaking, they went down.
I took what I got.
Yeah. So I guess, so that, really leads me to say that my recollection of rounds 3 and 4 is not awesome. And I recall that Into the Floodmaw did a thing again against hockey, and he had to read it, but I don't remember exactly what the circumstances were. And I want to say that was a 2-game match where I didn't get to see much at all of what his deck was supposed to be doing. And so that really left me unprepared for the finals, I would say.
You could have talked to me or Steven about that.
Well, I'm not sure if I would have been much more help.
Probably the people who played him, before I went in the finals might have been like, hey, dude, this is what you should do against him, maybe.
Yeah, talk to Nam.
Okay, so round 3. Who did you play round 3, or Steven?
I played against Brother Andrew on Classic Goblins.
Okay. And so I know he got at least, I thought he ended up 2-2.
Yes.
So he had won his previous round and now was paired against you at 1-1.
Goblins is good.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys would play both Ben and Brother Andrew. So how did that go?
It went well for me. I won 2-0. I don't remember having like crazy draws, and there was a little bit of worry that he could, if he was playing good goblins and had good draws, then he could get over me, and he might have had some good sideboard cards as well, because I didn't know that they were playing Classic until like after I'd seen quite a few cards. I was preparing for Shaman Ben to like double grief me the whole time, because that's what Hazard was playing at his tournament.
Right.
But no, I faced off against like Goblin pile drivers, and he did resolve a food chain in game 1, but he was like 1 mana off from comboing off.
Oh, okay.
He did get kind of close at times against me, but it was still 2-0 for me.
Right on. Angelo, who'd you play round 3?
I had Nam on the stream.
Oh, you guys were on stream, and this is where the camera was like totally knocked off, and probably one of you guys did it when you were sitting down.
Oh, we were being quite boisterous.
Yeah, so the camera was like half
you don't
off.
Have the match? I don't know.
It's on there, but like half the screen is, only half your mat is in the frame because the camera got knocked. So it's probably fairly unintelligible. I haven't downloaded the Twitch yet, but I'm going to do that tonight. Okay. And yeah.
Well, we tried to keep it entertaining from the audio side for the stream at least.
It sounds like you entertained yourselves at least. Did you
We
win?
had a good time, yeah.
No, Nam won, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Nam won. It was another 2-1 squeaker. He just had the cards. I don't even remember what he was on. I just remember it felt real bad.
He was on aggro shops.
That's right, but he was playing no rod. And so he no rodded my ass every game, and I think I managed to squeak one through. I think I managed to squeak a vault key through under one of them.
So maybe you got one game off of him, but it was.
How did I remove?
But it was entertaining for the stream for the audio that they heard anyway.
How do you remove null rod from play with
Master
your deck
Core
from the land, Steven? That's it, just Master Core?
Yeah.
But I think I got that. I think I pulled the sideboard card, knocked it out, did the thing. I think I even drew Time Vault in my opening hand that game that I won. So
nice.
I had like a real home run situation, but he just null rodded my face in.
Nice.
So was he playing Strip Mines too?
That deck will have the 5 Strip Mines, yeah.
Yeah, so he also, one game, he also just completely choked me off any kind of mana. And he always, that's the other thing, he always had, whenever I was about to saga into what I needed, he always had it for that too.
That's Nam's style of deck. I mean, that's that's the deck he got made it to the finals with, was aggro shops with Ravager, right? That was Ravager shops, but that's definitely his style of deck, so...
Yeah.
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, he did some calculus too, where he's like, do I go after the mana or do I go after the utility lands? You know, that kind of stuff. So he played it very well. I'm not mad, but it was brutal.
Yeah, that deck's really good against the top combo shops. Aggro shops was not very popular for a while, but now it's back up to popularity again. So gotta watch out.
I'm happy that we convinced Nam to come out and that there was a deck that he could play that like pick up. Not having played, Nam hasn't played Vintage since, when did he say, Eternal Weekend? He played the last Eternal Weekend, I think he said, didn't he?
Well, so that puts him 3-1 into the top 4 after that, because that was for the 3-1 spot. Or the 3-0 spot.
No, Nam was 3-0 there. Then that set me up to play Nam. I played Nam in the last round. And I believe that match was very short. I did the same. I swear that this was, again, a case where I was able to... He just has to play dudes, right? So he just played some dudes, if I recall. He played a Patchwork, and then I played an Oath, and then I killed him. And then game 2, I played a Null Rod on turn... No, it wasn't even a Null Rod. I played Energy Flux, I'm pretty sure. And just like sweeped his board, and then I had several turns to put together, and I think I show and held and won after that. Like I said, the details are fuzzy, but it was a very quick match. It was very lopsided. So I was like it was pretty crazy going 4-0. I was pretty high from that. Angelo, so you were kind of out of it at this point, just playing for glory.
No, I was still playing for 3-1. I was still playing.
You were still live, yeah. So
yeah.
And you got 9 points, didn't you? You were you the 9-pointer? Other 9-pointer? There was no 9-pointer didn't get in. Was that Andy?
I think it was Andy.
So who did you play?
I played hockey. So hockey was.
Oh, okay. So you were live. So if you won, yeah. What the heck, man?
And so I played hockey.
All these people had a chance to take out hockey.
Yeah, and none of us did.
Man.
I definitely came the closest based on what you guys are talking about, though, because game 1, I didn't see his deck do anything. He played like an island, and then I won turn 1, whatever. Game 2, he won on turn 1. Like, he went first and didn't give me a chance to do anything. He just
time walk, vault key.
Yeah, like got all the way there. So I still don't really know. I'm assuming he's on some kind of modern version of PO, but I don't really know how that works. So, I sideboard a little better, get to game 3, and we're playing along, things are going okay, and he null rods me. I get a Master Core down, he blows up the Master Core, and then I'm under a null rod, I've got a Construct, and I just need like a couple turns, man. Or I was about to get a Construct, I had a Urza Saga down, so I was just a turn away from Construct to attack, 2 turns. So it's alright, if I can just hang on to this, we'll be okay. He plays a Teferi, and I chose to Pithing Needle it for no great reason. I just wanted to Pithing Needle it so he couldn't cause trouble with it. Bounce by token, etc.
Okay.
And then a couple turns later, he gets the Kitten, bounces my Pithing Needle somehow, wins the game. But yeah, game 3 was a lot of back and forth.
So you came close.
Well, it was really like a 1-game match because
I
won. So like he just got mana screwed game 1, and I got turn 1 game 2.
Yeah, that was the only real game, and that was the decider, basically.
Yeah, and it was hard to sideboard because I didn't really. I mean, I definitely went up the Master Cores, but I didn't know. I didn't know what else to do.
So who else was live then against you, Steven? Who did you play?
I played against Dwayne round.
So you guys are both 2-1, and Dwayne's trying to get in. So Dwayne is playing Null Rod Shops also, right?
I thought Dwayne was playing like the same list, like with Smelting Vats.
I don't think so.
Or was it? Maybe it was a little bit of a. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't remember all of the details.
He was on the same deck as Nam.
He was on the same.
He
deck
was on,
as
yeah.
Okay.
So he was on Null Rod Shops, but he did not play Null Rod. Apparently, he did not have a Null Rod in any of his hands. Apparently, or it was not memorable, and you were able to win through Null Rod.
I remember. So I just remember that getting like lucky game 1, and then like he on the play, I think, and then he got lucky on the play game 2, I think. I remember game 3. This is all on stream, so I ought to remember.
Okay.
But you kind of the Yang times were setting in.
Yes, indeed, man. Indeed.
So game 3, I knew that he had different kinds of like targeted named hate, like Revoker, and I was pretty sure he had like the Flute.
Okay.
And of course Pithing Needle. So I get my opening 7. I think it was 7. It was 6 or 7, but I see that it has Vault Key and it has some other stuff, and I realized I don't have enough mana to turn 1 Vault Key activate, or I would just, do it and win. But I have it to set up on turn 2, but if he knows that's what I want to do, then he can just name Key or Vault, and I'm screwed.
Right. He just named Time Vault. And then, yeah. Okay. So you want to wait till you can do it all in one turn.
Yeah, so I think I would have to remember, but I think it might have been a Mystic Forge was the bait. Or no, maybe. I remember he Revokered a Sapphire, and that kept me from having the mana to do it turn 2, so that prolonged the game a little bit.
Got it. Okay.
But at least it got rid of one of his Revoker things. So then I think on his turn 2, he plays the flute, but he names... I think he names KCI to make it cost more or something.
Okay.
Or maybe or it could have been Fleshraker, but I think he named KCI. Either way, that let me play the Vault Key in my hand.
So you got rid of the Revoker effects and were able to exhaust those with other bombs and then basically play out the sandbagged Time Vault.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I was glad it worked out.
That's cool. I didn't realize who the other opponents you guys had were that were also basically live to get in. I guess, Angelo, I didn't realize you were still right there, potentially. So our car could have been the entire top 4, Angelo. You know that, right?
Seriously, I was one game away from that.
Wow.
Basically, our car is full of winners except for Angelo.
Look, I'm the guy. I'm always first out or around first out. If you look back at I've done that at least twice in Romancing the Stones leagues. First and third TSI I went to, I was this last one I was 8th place.
Yeah. You're not always the first one out. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I'm always around the cutoff point, slightly better than average, but not
9th on breakers.
not a champion. Yeah.
That's how I was for my first several TSIs. It was often one of my worst tournaments, but that was
It's a matter of time. I mean, I see guys go 1-5, then win the next year. So it's
a bad Magic tournament is a good day at a TSI.
I agree with that statement. We actually took a break after round 1 to eat lunch, and at this point we had a lot of Yangtimes. We were also drinking a lot of Oberon. This TSI was some people thought it was the Kevin Serious Invitational. Kevin Capone is the one who hosted us, but it's actually, the K stands for Kegerator, because he has a Kegerator in the new pad that he has just purchased, and he had a reason to basically get the Kegerator working, was inviting everyone over to make sure it worked, right?
Well,
so
we should actually take a
Spoiler,
minute
it worked.
to talk about Kevin's nice place.
yeah, so Angelo, tell us what I was driving in, you were navigating us there, we were pulling in there. Tell us a little bit about it.
I mean, it was right off the highway, which is, whatever. But as soon as you turn down this road, you're just kind of in the woods.
It's about as much of a retreat as you can have for being right off the highway.
Right in Ann
sweet.
Arbor, right?
Yeah.
You go out in the yard,
It was
the house
impressive.
is in between two lots with 2 frontages. And, he's got a lot of yard and a lot of trees in that yard, a nice patio, a lot of glass.
I love the shade. It was
enjoy
great.
the trees. I mean,
Oh, the glass. That's where we
place,
put the streaming area, was in this beautiful glass
the big
sitting
window
breakfast nook. Yeah, it was amazing.
But then the whole living room was 2 walls, floor-to-ceiling glass. It was nice.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I really liked the feeling of openness, like you said, because it's right, feeling like you're on in the middle of nowhere, but you're in Ann Arbor.
It's a top-tier bachelor pad. If I was suiting someone and going to bring them back to my place, that's the kind of place I'd want to go back to.
Yeah, so Kegerator had Oberon in it, which actually I had 1 Oberon left in my plethora of Singleton beers that people had left at the land, and I busted it out and I cracked it open. I have a few sips left here. I'm going to take a swig of Oberon in remembrance of an awesome event and the awesome Kegerator in-house keg. I love it.
Yeah, it was great. I've drank a lot of Oberon, but fresh from the keg whenever you want it is with a nice orange slice is unbeatable.
So the place we got the food from was called Zingerman's, and I didn't have a chance to look it up, but I assume it's a deli or a grocery store nearby that does like a deli counter or something. It was really good. A lot of different kinds of meats and coleslaws and sauces, all sorts of sauces. I thought that sandwich builds were really good. I think I had pastrami and cheese. I put the coleslaw right on the sandwich, and I had a couple different sauces on there. It was good.
I thought it was fantastic. It was such a good sandwich spread. I made a big sandwich with, I think it was corned beef, pastrami, and turkey, and cheese, lettuce, tomato spreads.
Oh yeah,
great. All the ingredients were
good.
Great.
Lettuce and tomato too. Yeah,
a whole pickle. I think Brian Hockey kept asking like, "Does anyone want to split a pickle with me?" Come on, eat the whole pickle. Brian.
Eat the whole.
They weren't even that big. I eat 3 of those pickles.
There's a lot of good snacks too. Someone had donuts maybe from that morning. I don't know where the donuts were from, but I smashed probably 2.5 of them. They were cut in halves, and I just kept coming back for a half. I'm like, yeah, I'll just have a half, and then that turned into 2.5. I think.
I didn't notice the donuts until the very end, and I had one right before we left. It was great.
Yeah, man. You got the little sugar shock right before we left. Nice. Also, I want to mention, as always, we had the amazing Team Series Invitational prize table. There was an amazing layout of prizes there that, everyone brings a prize. Kevin asked everyone to bring a prize around $20 or more and fill up that table so we could draft them at the end. And I think everyone probably got us something cool. I don't know. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Hey, you know what? Let's just talk about that right now. What did you end up with, Steven?
Well,
let's say, what did you bring and what did you end up with?
Yeah, what did you bring and what did you end up with? Yeah.
It was a little bit of a last-minute prize, but it was a foil quiet speculation, and it was a foil full art mythic Teferi.
Ooh.
Valued at like 75 at least.
Oh. I'll have to look that one up.
I had sold that exact Teferi for like 300 about a year after
Really?
it came out.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the
Steven,
the original secret layer one that you couldn't get. And
It was
like the bonus card or something.
Yeah. It was,
like
if you wanted to speculate, it would have been good to sell it like when 5-mana Teferi was like the best planeswalker.
Well, right on. Okay, so that's what you brought. What did you end up with?
That's what I brought. But what I ended up with was a very cool painting of a mountain, and I also got the secret lair of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Nice.
I believe Eric brought that prize. Oh, very cool. Angelo, what did you bring and what did you walk away with?
I was in the same situation, so I had to grab some stuff like that morning. So I went to the attic where I keep all my toys, and I grabbed the playmat tube, pink deck box, a complete set of Marvel cards. The collectible Marvel cards. I think it was like the 2nd or 3rd edition.
Yeah, why didn't you tell me that's what you were putting in the thing? I might have picked yours.
I have more of those if you're interested.
We should have. There was no space where everyone said the cool things that they brought because I didn't.
Well, mine was a mystery bag. I didn't want you to know what's in the bag.
I'm not gonna pick a mystery bag. Yeah, I'm not picking your mystery bag.
You should, because you might get cool stuff from them. I'm not even done yet. I'm not
okay. What else is in the mystery bag?
I'm trying to save the best thing for last. I think this is the last thing. I have a CGC graded Portal Stormcrow 8.5 that I threw in there as well, so that somebody can get a nice Stormcroaster, if you will.
I wonder who walked away with the Stormcroaster.
Yeah, well, I know who walked out of the Stormcroaster.
Who's that?
Eric Caffrey.
Eric did. Okay, that's a good recipient.
I tried to get him to use it, and he refused. So I don't know. I don't know what his plans are.
I don't know.
I hope he's not gonna crack it, because it seems like a bad
it's
move.
Yeah, probably.
Don't crack the Stormcrow.
What did you walk away with?
I ended up getting, I think, Andrew's prize. It might have been Ben's prize. It was the 3 2013 Duels of the Planeswalkers booster promo packs. They were like, yeah, just Google it. You can see what's in them. I still have yet to definitively figure out what's in them.
Figure out what's in them or what.
I know
what you're
one's a
gonna do with them.
Primeval
Yeah.
Hydra, and then the other two, and then there's some like random M13 cards in the rest of the pack. There's 6 card boosters, and then on the back side were the like Shaman Ben Proxies of
Oh.
like I had 2 copies of one and 1 copy of the other. They're functionally the same. It's just a colorless Mox. And I was like, "Are these legal in anti?" He's like, "I'm an anarchist." And I was like, "All right."
So that means yes. So coming to an anti deck near you, we have Mox Crystal now legal in our format apparently.
All
right.
It's in 3 of them. Yeah, I got
Nice.
one in each. Actually, I have the 2 of them in the one deck because
I look forward to winning a Mox Crystal off of you.
Yeah.
Next time we play. I had an idea. I was cleaning out my daughter's room, and she has this Frozen clock, and she's 10 now, and Frozen is baby. So she didn't want the clock anymore. And I was going to throw it away, and then I had this idea that I could repurpose the clock and turn it into a Yangtime clock. So the idea is that all the hours instead of numbers would just be little Jerry Yang heads. But then I realized that I didn't have enough different shots of just Jerry's head to fill up all the numbers. So then I had the idea that what is a Yangtime? A Yangtime is Jägermeister and Red Bull. So then I printed little Red Bull and little Jägermeister bottles, and I cut all that out, and I did my first Mod Podge project to make this Yangtime clock. And so in case you ever wonder what time it is, you know that it is always Yangtime at every hour of the day.
Well, and to the listeners at home, this is better than you're imagining it. Like, it came out better than you're imagining it. Like, whatever you think this thing looks like, it's better.
It came out pretty good.
I'll put a picture in the show notes. I believe Dwayne walked away with the Yang clock.
He did. He snapped that up. He's like, "Yangtime clock." Walked away.
It also came with a really cool altar that I was able to procure. It was kind of just like a stock altar of a Swords of Plowshares, and the artist had turned it into kind of a portrait as the Ice Age Swords of Plowshares, and then I had her create like a nameplate underneath it that says KSI 2024 on it. So I thought that was really cool.
Side was looking at the card.
I missed that was a part of it. I might have considered taking it then.
Oh.
It was close. That's
yeah.
fine.
Steven, I can't believe now I realize you had the pick above Dwayne and you didn't take my clock. I don't know. And why did I invite you on here again? I forget. No.
Because you didn't want to invite Brian? No.
You're my You're my enemy now. No, that's fine. Yeah, I said,
you knocked me out.
Maybe we're nemesis. I played Steven in the very first TSO I ever came to. He was my very first vintage opponent ever. I think I shared that story on another podcast, but I don't think we're nemesis.
No.
I think we're very much simpatico.
We're simpatico. But I like having a rival sometimes. It's fun.
Indeed.
Yeah, you gotta have a nemesis. Lorian's my nemesis.
Nam brought a prize back to the TSI that he won from a TSI, I believe, which was Commander Anthology. And it's like a bunch of decks, and if I won, I might have made Hockey switch prizes with me, but I didn't win. But that's what he drafted, and I normally look for stuff in these prize pools that I can play or do with my kids because, I'm often taking the day and not hanging out with them, and I'm hanging out with my friends. And you got to do that sometimes because I do hang out with them a lot. But I like the idea of like coming back and being like, hey, I got this prize and we're going to like do it. And so they're involved in the event in some way, even though they weren't there. They get to benefit from it because they get to play with or like play with me, whatever I won. So the Commander Anthology was very appealing, but I also always am interested in any prize that Shaman Ben puts in the prize pool because you never know what's going to be involved with that, right? So I basically, Brian picked the Commander Anthology. As we were going into the top 8, they said, hey, we're going to draft real quick. Can you guys pick? So I picked the Shaman Ben box, which also I love that Ben's prizes almost always are in some sort of box or display case or something. Even if, I have no use for that thing, I like the fact that he's put some time into thinking about some sort of vessel for his prize. So,
or he just has a bunch of wooden boxes laying around his house.
I also like the idea that he has a barn full of wooden boxes, and he's just like, you know what? I have this barn of wooden boxes, and I'm gonna use them. Damn it! Like, and yeah,
Well,
maybe that is true.
I don't know how many cats he has now, but he used to have a lot, and cats love wooden boxes. So
Okay, there you go. There you go.
maybe there's something there.
Maybe. So it's like a very nice box, and it had a couple books in it. And I wasn't sure what those were. It had a record.
I think it's a doom metal record.
Right, which is like not totally my style. But the main thing of this prize was the sorcery pre-con decks. Now, I didn't see any other prizes that had like playable decks, or maybe I think there was a game or two that I could have picked, but this was a sorcery pre-con decks. It has 4 sealed sorcery decks, and I've heard a lot about the game, and I just figured, well, I probably will never buy it myself, but this is a way that I could grab it and maybe check it out. So sorcery. But now, like, should I keep it sealed? Is this like an alpha deck? Should I, like, like not open it, or what? Like, I'm gonna 20 years from now I'll be like, why did I open that sorcery pre-con?
Don't ask me about sorcery.
You could probably ask the Kyle Wells about that, but I would imagine it'd be good to crack and play with your family.
That's the plan. That's definitely the plan. So we end up making the cut from the Swiss. We make the cut to top 4. So we only had 16 total people playing. We're not going to do a top 8 because that's dragging the thing out much longer than it should be. So we make it cut to top 4. It ends up, the top 4 are, I'm at the top, then it's Hockey, then it's Nam, then it's Steven. And I think that's correct.
Yeah.
So me and Steven sit down on camera. I don't know what happened exactly in the other semi. I believe that Nam lost 2-1. I think he lost in 3.
I think it was a long match, right? They were at it for a while.
Yeah, they were going at it for a while, but Steven and I still hadn't finished. So they finished just when we were in game 3. They finished, I believe, if I recall, because I think Nam came over and was like, I lost to Hockey. So do you remember, Steven?
I had no perception of the other match going on.
I think you guys did last longer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was longer. Yeah.
I don't remember a ton of turns in our games, Steven. So, like I have said already, we are just after the event. The dust is settling. I remember some key things from our match, but I don't remember a ton of stuff that happened. Did I fish you in that match? Is that what you were alluding to earlier?
You did fish me, yeah. Or
okay.
It was just the bounce. Having a bounce spell in general is very good.
Well, I remember at one point, I walk over to the table and Dwayne's watching, and he's like, he thinks he won, but he's actually going to win. It's just going to take him a while. And he was talking about Steve thinks he won, and Rajah is going to take a while, and he ended up being right like 40 minutes later. Okay. So Dwayne had some prognostication.
This is probably about game 2 or just the overall match.
It was game 2, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe we were in game 2.
Yeah, that sounds like game 2. Yeah.
Like you had a flesh raker down, you were cooking, and then Rajah just like smiled and like null routed you.
Well, so there's a couple things. So I don't want to confuse my games, I guess. So it was weird because I got his life total a little low, and then I think I got an ensnaring bridge down, and I sort of had a possible plan, and he had Atraxid out, and I had a sort of plan of possibly getting to attack with my scrap trawler for lethal, because you had the mana crypt going, and you won at 6, so 2 more flips.
Yeah, you got me to 7. I had to fetch to do something, and then I was at 6. And then I had an active mana crypt as well. So, and then I was able to bounce your ensnaring bridge and attack. Is that what that ended up happening in that?
Yeah, you bounced it with the fish spell. Yeah.
I bounced it, and then did I do anything after that? I was just able to gain life and then like counter it on the way down or something.
Yeah, and game 1 was funny. That was so I won game 1, and I believe that was where we thought there was going to be an interaction where I had 2 Flash Rakers in play, and the text on Flash Raker says when a colorless creature comes into play under your control. So you were going to give me 2 spirit tokens with Orchards.
But you had your ring out. You were under ring.
And I was like, oh, you're going to take damage from that. And I think we marked the damage. And then we were like, oh, right. Actually, I don't get the tokens because of the ring.
The ring,
oh,
yeah.
And there was some kind of misplay that they saw on stream where...
Oh,
yeah?
I think it was your match where somebody force a willed something through a vexing bauble. Like Rajah had a vexing bauble out and he force a willed one of your
I had
spells.
a vexing bauble out. Or maybe they thought that...
Somebody countered something through a vexing
this happened
bauble.
in Hockey and I's match, but
Maybe that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, but we rewound it. We did
Okay,
it.
yeah.
We caught it.
Oh, you fixed it. Okay.
We fixed it.
Because I remember Andy came running into the house. He's like, "What if this happens?" And we're like, "Set it up."
And maybe it happened in Steve and I's match, but I don't believe it did.
I don't think so.
I don't believe it did. And if it did, I likely wouldn't have been tapped out. I probably could have sacked my bauble and still forced the thing. I don't know. But I don't think it happened in Steven's match. I know it happened in a Hockey match in the finals. And Hockey very seriously offered the redo. Like in the finals, he was like, because I don't think he was unaffected by the Yang times either at this point. So he gentlemanly offered, he said, all right, if I'm going to roll a D6, if it's odd, it's countered and you don't get to take it back. If it's even, you get to sack your bauble and
that's
you can
as
cast
generous
your force.
as you're going to get from Hockey right there.
That was in
50-50.
hindsight. In hindsight, I'm very surprised by that play actually in the finals from Hockey. So tip of the hat to you, sir. Champion, well deserved.
Did you win the die roll or not?
I won the die roll. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, I won the.
You won the die roll in the top 4? Kidding. That die roll. Excuse me.
For the
spell.
vexing bauble. Yeah. He offered me evens. I get to do a sack and then cast force. So that was fine. Anyway, so against Steven, yeah, like I was really, thinking I was gonna die in that, last game against you.
Me too. Well, me too. Yeah.
But once I had a Traxxas play, I felt good about my chances.
I felt really bad when that hit. So I felt
because I had the energy flux. That's where
yeah.
We
so
were
I didn't
at,
know
right?
exactly the hate cards you had, but I felt like I was favored on the play against you, and so I was really hoping to go into game 3 on the play, and I did. And I had, so, this is on stream, but it was starting to get to me, the Yang times and the pressure, and honestly, Dwayne being there was a little intimidating. That's no fault of him. That's just, me feeling the presence of the master there.
Yeah, fair. And I think he was trying to just help us not be playing.
Oh yeah. Well, he was actually
right?
it was good that he was there because yes, he did that and we needed that. And so I was also just wanting to not up on camera.
That's fair.
But either way, I didn't take all of the time in the world to analyze my opening hand. I took an average amount of time to analyze it.
And you could have taken more in hindsight.
I could have taken more
in
hindsight.
saying.
Yes. So I ended up basically playing, I think, 6 cards in my hand and passing. And I might have had to sack my key in order to make KCI mana.
Yes.
But then Dwayne pointed out a line where I play out everything and I'm sacking my tapped mana vault.
Instead of the key.
And then I get to basically be in a situation where I think I have Wellspring in play. I think I would have 2 cards and 2 mana to play with.
I don't remember my exact opener.
That wouldn't have... I don't think that would have gotten me to a kill turn 1, but it could have churned me into enough cards to eventually get me into a 1 ring and then into a kill.
That was the game I had energy flux against you, though, in that third game. I'm pretty sure, right? So that's when I played energy flux, and you had that full board. You had to sack everything, but you're able to get everything back, right?
I think you had Null Rod Oath first, right?
I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't have an orchard yet. I think. I don't believe I did. I think I had Null Rod first to stop, and then I don't recall exactly. So we won't speculate because it's on stream. But I'm pretty clear in that game that I had energy flux, and there was a point where that wiped your board because you just had workshop plus Inventor's Fair, maybe.
Either way, I could not deal with energy flux at all.
Yeah.
My deck was not built for dealing with any of that hate.
Yeah, and that was one of the tech kind of sideboard cards that I brought to this event because I wanted to be ready for potential aggro shops.
The blue jewel shop decks can be really resilient. I played null rod shops at champs and I lost to jewel shops because they had the channel bounce land.
Energy flux isn't super good against them. You gotta have null rod plus threat, really. But anyway, so that was our semi. I thought it was an awesome match.
It was a great match. Yeah, we gave them full 3 games. Our decks got to do the thing. My emotions were I didn't expect to get top 4, so I was very excited to even be there. My emotions were like, oh yeah, it shifted like, oh yeah, I can win this, and then it's like,
much excite.
The roller coaster was fun, and I would ride again for sure.
I hope my final match is on stream and isn't too shaky. I know it was pretty bad. It's maybe unwatchable. I'll download it and we'll upload it. It was a lot of fun. I really think Brian had a great run on the day. I can't speak for him, but I assume he had fun. He looked like he was having fun in our match. We're at whatever position we were in. In game 3, my keep was a little loose, but he also had a really strong hand, I think, in hindsight. I watched a little bit of the stream, and I want to say his opener had like Mental Misstep, Ancestral, and Flusterstorm, but no Force. So potentially I could have snuck it in if I mulliganed more aggressively to a Mox Orchard Oath hand. But I had an Oath, but no Orchard, essentially, in my last game. So he was able to do his thing effectively, make infinite mana, and I couldn't really stop what he was doing. So it was a pretty awesome match. I felt good about the fact that I kind of was trying to spike and did do that. I was able to do that. I did feel bad because I've never won a TSI, so I would have wanted to do that. Steven pointed out in our semifinal match that he had not either, I believe. So the storyline was the same either way.
Yeah, me not winning one is a little bit of a meme. But
Hero.
I wanted to go full spike at it at some point. Hopefully when people aren't expecting it.
It's hard sometimes to get in the mode.
To get my
I
filthy
understand.
lucre.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
to get your filthy lucre. Well, I wasn't at Hazards this year. Gave everyone a chance. You guys let Jimmy win.
Yes, we did.
So
yeah, we let Jimmy win.
Anyway, awesome event overall. The vintage portion of especially was awesome, of course. And congratulations to Brian for being the champion of the inaugural Kegerator Invitational. He played a very cool list that was based on Andrew Webb's list from the land. It had Trinket Mage and the Ring and stuff and Kitten. It was a Kitten Mage deck. It was really cool. It had some different combos in it. Had Portable Hole, which was very cool. Took out my Oath in our one game, so that was cool.
Yeah, that deck is cool. I might play some variant of that later.
We like Kitten for sure. Andy played a very memorable deck, the Catastrolabe deck, with Kitten and Astrolabe. And so, yeah, we like cats. So let's talk a little bit about the swag corner.
Welcome to the BC Druid
Swag Corner. Steven, this is a segment where we talk about swag.
Swagalicious.
Swag is swagger. It's not
Stuff we all get.
It's not that. It's swagger. So, Steven, what was the most swag thing that you participated in or observed at this event? So was it cards? Was it attire? Was it food? Was it drink? What was it?
The turn 1 Hypnotic Spectre, I think, was still amazing. And I got to give mad props to Shaman Ben and Brother Andrew for playing the classic decks.
Playing the classic decks.
Yeah, and the sandwiches, those are pretty easy picks, but they were...
I'll let you take the low-hanging fruit, man. Yeah, for sure. Those are very good swag picks for this event. BC Druid, what do you think?
I think having a kegerator in your entertaining area right next to your breakfast nook is pretty pimp.
That is swag, off-the-charts swag.
I mean, it's dangerous, frankly.
That's swag with a cherry on top.
Living fast.
It's 2 snaps up and a swag.
That's right. So
Great digs in general, but kegerator is the cherry on top.
Kegerator, for sure. All right, yeah, Steven stole my thunder a little bit, but I will give my swag award still to Brother Andrew and Shaman Ben. When I invited those guys to come, I didn't know if they were going to be able to come, but they decided, hey, we don't know anything about current vintage. If I'm going to play it, I'll just learn on the fly, and I'm going to show up for the experience, whether or not I win a game. Andrew, like I said, I think one ended up 2-2. He won a couple matches with Food Chain, and I think it's just super swag to want to enjoy the atmosphere and the friends that you're able to enjoy, and that, this is the part of the episode where I get sappy, and that this is what we get to do. And so I give a big shout out to Shaman Ben and Brother Andrew for being so swag that they don't even need to play cards after Scorch.
Next time they might play some new cards, because they were very much enjoying the decks that we were playing in the room. They thought it was sweet.
Yeah, no, I hope to see Shaman Ben again sometime. I told him a couple years ago that I would just camp out at his house. If he wasn't going to run a tournament ever, I would just do a guerrilla tournament in his yard. I would just bring my tent and do that. So a TSI guerrilla tournament at Lang.
Whether you like it or not.
No, but maybe I hope this prompts him to maybe come around a little more and just enjoy the friendship that our events always offer. So shout out to Brother Andrew and Shaman Ben for showing up. It was awesome. And I will also say that I thought it was pretty swag that Kevin's friend from childhood also showed up there, and he basically did the pick a good deck and play it, and that was Brett. And I got to meet him. He's a cool dude. And he was playing Atraxa Oath. He's just like, this deck is very powerful. It seems very good. I'm going to play it. And I hope he had a good time. It's an awesome event.
I want to give shout outs for Auntie as well. Angelo for building a cool new Auntie deck. And
We gave away so many cards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you give Steven some cards, Angelo?
I gave away every match every game I played, I lost.
It's in refinement. Some of those cards had to be worked for, and then Hockey got the last laugh again, of course, and beat Auntie on the last turn.
This guy couldn't
and
lose.
held up our car for an extra 50.
That guy couldn't lose.
If you see the picture of him in my Auntie game, he just looks diabolical.
Yeah, shout out to the Ohio Anti-Association.
Oh yeah, I should give my swag shout out to Capone for photographing the whole tournament and making everyone look really, really good.
These pictures by Kevin are awesome, and like Josh was saying, the color is so good. I'm seeing some of the top 4. Kevin took headshots of all of us for the top 4, Steven. It's really good.
Yeah, it's one of the best pictures ever taken of me.
I showed my wife, and she's like, you look kind of drunk.
I look so happy in all of the pictures except our match where I look so stressed.
I did work on a little bit on a brief write-up. I am missing Brian's deck still from that write-up, so hopefully we can put that write-up. I asked Webb. I said, Webb, what deck did Hockey play? He said he played your deck. He's like, I don't know what he changed, but I can tell you what he might have changed. Okay. So yeah, if and when, maybe we'll just have, no first place deck. That's fine for our write-up. That seems on brand.
Kitten and Teferi. That's all it needs. And it's Tinker. Yeah.
Tinker?
Yeah, he tinkered for Sphinx against me, and then in the other game he did the Teferi Kitten thing.
Shout out to Jimmy for being the taskmaster of the Jägermeisters. Big ups to Jimmy, and also for entering the tournament, running the tournament digitally. Big ups to you, Jimmy.
I can't believe nobody's going to talk about my pants.
All right, so let's hit into final thoughts. Angelo, tell us your final thoughts on the event.
Your pants are swag, Angelo.
I had a good day. It actually ended up being a little bit bigger of an adventure than I had anticipated. Because remember, the plan was to get back by 10, 11, whatever.
I think I said midnight. What time did we get back?
You did day of or the day before, but weeks in advance. You were like, 9 or 10, we'll be back, whatever. We gotta get home, kids. I'm not mad about it. I also didn't plan on imbibing, but Jimmy really pressured me. So I had a great time as a result. Vibes were good. I won. I felt like I won what I should have won, and there might have been like one game that I could have played better, but generally I was happy with my play, which is always a good feeling, no matter what your record is.
Yeah, man.
It was nice to see everybody, you know. Shaman Ben was a little bit juxtaposition for me because I'd only ever seen him at old school events. There he is playing vintage.
Steven, final thoughts.
It was a great event. We are friends. We have fun.
That's very well said, Steven. Very eloquent. Well, you've done it again. You've spent at least an hour. Now I'm gonna have to think about what is this gonna get edited down to. I'll say
an hour.
I'll just say an hour. No, I'm gonna somehow get it down to an hour and 15 minutes.
Good luck.
All right. You've wasted a perfectly good 90 minutes on Full Warning, a Team Serious podcast. I'm Rajah James.
I'm BC Druid.
And I'm Steven McGrew.
And we'll talk to you next time on Full Warning.
Next time.
Bye-bye.
Full warning, he's been warned.
Precise danger, shaky grounds, we ain't going out without a bang. Initial reaction, scope every action, no hesitation. Just send all my men to their battle station. Precise danger, shaky grounds, we ain't going out without a bang. Initial reaction, scope every action, no hesitation. Just send all my men to their battle station.
Maybe a couple weeks, probably. I'll see. I have some disfluencies I'll need to edit out. But yeah, we'll get it all figured. Not you, Steven. Just Angelo.